family was teaching me stuff.
Yeah, you're an old pro. Look at that.
No, that's about all I know. And again, you had to tell me where it was, or else I'd be like, I have no fucking clue.
Well, the only other thing to say, I preset a random map. It's the Florida Rock. Cool. It's one. And there's all the pieces. Because we have the pictures put up.
Yeah.
I basically just loaded up the side areas with Black Widow's 1 through 13 for Chicken Focus, plus Red Guardian, Red Elena Belova, Widow's Initiative, Widow's Recruit, and Widow's Spy. You'll learn more about that.
Cool. How did you ping that like you just did?
If you click and hold your left mouse button down, it's a single.
Oh, there we go. Cool.
And then over there, there's like tab menu. So if you want, like, if you've never seen this before, I would suggest it's probably better to play the Taskmaster game. There's only 3 bases to worry about.
I was going to suggest the same thing. Plus, we know I love Taskmaster, so I'm not opposed to that. Yeah. I don't mind being your whipping boy, Tom.
And also, if I think you've only got one window, but if you open Realms on your phone or on another window on your browser, I sent you a PM in Realms in which I just isolated the dials for the pieces we're playing with today.
Okay.
So it's less scrolling in the evidence thread when you're trying to remember what powers and
copy that. I will open it. It's
going to be a complete mess no matter what. But.
Yeah, I'll open it in my iPad.
I think one of my new favorite things is that I just start and disregard everything that's going on while we're talking.
Oh, no. That's embarrassing.
We're live.
Oh, I hate you so much when you do that.
You know what? You're lucky I didn't catch your old lady face while you were learning how to use Roll20. You're about 10 seconds away from this. It's like,
right?
What's going on, Sonny?
I totally was. I was like,
it makes us wonder, like, when did that start, and how done was what we're talking about.
That's it. Nobody needs to know how slow I am with computers.
We're
Please.
We're live with the Metal Lab this week. I'm joined, of course, by Tom.
Greetings, everyone. My bedroom / office. I've now gone full conversion.
And a bit of beer to go with it.
Always.
I'm also joined by Mike.
And I'm bitter now. I don't want to talk to you.
Mike, I didn't show them the picture. I just talked. Oh, wait. And I am here. It's the apocalypse. Let's get white girl wasted.
Yes, I have tequila and limonada because I'm classy.
I have a White Claw.
But I have a pinky up.
Because I'm apparently a young 17-year-old blonde girl.
And it used to be an awesome, amazing Spider-Man glass. The dishwasher has...
Oh, no.
That's his arch nemesis, the dishwasher.
Spider-Man's one weakness.
I mean, like, with enemies like Slide, then you're not that far away.
No, not really at all. Like, this is really coming out next week.
If only I had my ally Jet Dry to save me.
It's like those comics from the 90s when they would license like a local sports team or something to do a Marvel comic, and it would become just most like 90% an ad. I had one for like the Blue Jays. And...
Yeah.
Totally, dude. That was all of the 80s for sure. Man, that was the best part about comics, 70s and 80s. And that's why those old fruit pie ads,
you mean
Hostess fruit pies.
The Hostess pies? Yeah.
The one where the Hulk murders guys with pavement to get along.
Yeah, it's great. He rolls them up in concrete. It's fantastic.
I'm sure they lived.
Yeah. He turns them into a Swiss roll of death.
Oh man, now I want Swiss rolls.
Apparently, the social isolation has had an effect on us, guys, as we are way off topic today. We're not even gonna get started. Forget it. We're just gonna go off the cuff as we usually do.
We're in, we're out.
So before we get things started, yes, things are going a little crazy, especially out here in Canada. As kind of an update that I have just recently discovered. All distributors in this area are shutting down. And I'm familiar with or deal with have any of their product. So Justice League Unlimited, it's not looking like we're getting our pre-release week this week or next week or whenever this all kind of blows over. And it doesn't look like we're getting Black Widow or Fantastic Four anytime soon. So fingers crossed that this gets better sooner rather than later. As well, WizKids just recently posted an announcement. All of their Q2 and Q3 events that they had planned are done. They are not happening. So that specifically references U.S. Nationals and PAX Unplugged and Board Game Geek Con. So WizKids' presence is not going to exist there. Anything that was planned to happen in the fourth quarter is still penciled into the schedule. We'll see how everything goes on that. I also have it on a good authority that Canadian Nationals was penciled into Q3, so let's not hold our breath on that one there. So it's tough goings, but the game has survived worse. The game has survived non-existence. So if there's a game that will survive this, Heroclix is that game, ladies and gentlemen. So we're not going to stop talking about it. We're going to continue to enjoy it. If you are feeling a little lonely out in the world, down below, if you check in the description, we have a link to a new community Discord. This is not strictly for patrons. This is a community Discord where you can just arrange meetups and games, talk Heroclix, talk anything. Just jump in there, chit-chat with people, whatever. It's a general chat. There's all kinds of ways to hang out with the world. So, don't not exist. You know what I mean? Be out there. Enjoy yourself as best you can. That said, let's bring it into the good. I don't know if you caught it this weekend, but some little podunk Heroclix channel got a chance to unbox some Black Widow.
Hey.
No, I didn't see that video. That channel sucks.
Yeah, I know. There's a guy and a girl on the channel. The guy's the worst. He's just terrible. Ugly beard. Just love it. Talks so much about wrestling sometimes. It's the worst.
It's embarrassing, really.
Yeah.
Plays weird theme teams that involve way too many figures on the map.
Yeah,
it's great stuff.
So that said, let's talk Black Widow, shall we? Courtesy of our, as a result of the video that came up, updated their database like that. So I'm actually going to use their site to look at it while we discuss all the figures piece by piece. There's 18 pieces in total, and a gravity feed did get me all of the pieces. Sans the bike, which you buy separate of the set, and there's a couple extra commons as well. So that said, let's get to the this one here where you can still see our lovely faces. All right, so we're going to start with figure 1 as Black Widow. 75 points, 6 range, Avengers Initiative, Avengers and Spy keyword. She's indomitable. Did I say she's got the Avengers Initiative team ability? I hope I did.
You did.
She ignores characters for line of fire. She's got Shifting Focus Black Widow, which is going to come up a lot on characters specifically named Black Widow in this set. And she's got this espionage, technology, and training. Sorry, there's espionage : technology and training. It's not the espionage trait that youth know and love. It's a different one. And it says, if Black Widow is on a theme team or your starting force has 2 other characters from the Black Widow set, opposing characters can't use improved targeting abilities to target her or adjacent friendly characters. As we said, she's 75 points, indomitable. This is perplexed across the board with some stealth off to start. Tom, what do you think of the first iteration of the Shifting Focus Black Widow?
What I would start with suggesting, first of all, I mean, this is not really a spoiler, but we should probably get out of the way as we make our way through. Shifting focus for this set is a bit of a motif, which basically is choose a damage power, and you'll always have it on that figure. So you'll see this as we make our way along. This is the perplexed one. There's also a prop one, an outwit one, and an exploit weakness one, and they do a variety of other things as well. But it's just worth noting off the top that that's one thing you can always rely on with your shifting focus if you're playing with this Black Widow, which is getting one of the big 3 damage powers and also exploit. Why not? As to what I think of it, I must admit, it's always a hard sell to look at a 5-click figure for 75 points that doesn't have some kind of, life insurance, whether it be a stock click, whether it be special defensive powers. I mean, stealth is not bad, and the combat reflexes in the 17 is good if you've got to get next to her, but you really want her espionage, technology, and training to be working, so that's the only thing that's assuring that her stealth is actually going to take effect, which limits your build options a tiny bit, but, I mean, we like building theme teams anyway, so it's not as much of a limit for us. I think that she's just good enough, especially as we're going to see as we go through all the shifting focuses, to have enough options that I think that she's kind of an outside play. The Avengers Initiative is a wonderful, wonderful trait, or a team ability, I should say, because it gives her both improved targeting and improved movement to allow her to stay in the area that she loves and still be able to shoot at people. But when played on the theme team, I think that she's just borderline viable. If you weren't playing her on the theme team, I don't think she's winning.
All right, and Mike.
Yeah, I mean, Tom really nailed it all over the place. I mean, I like that espionage technology and training trait, especially with so many people with improved targeting out now. She's got stealth. She could be around other people with stealth, helping them out. But at 75 points, 5 clicks, nothing that sort of brings her back or mitigates that death. And it's 75 points you're giving up. Yeah, way too soft. But I will say it's hard to also review her without, again, talking about the other shifting focus versions, because again, that's what sort of changes the value in the way of the figure. So there's a little bit of a bump there because I have looked at some of the other shifting focus ones. They've got some cool stuff. Their trait changes into some cool things. One that sort of stops colossal retail in a way. So anyway, I think that in that respect, you sort of want to be looking at this figure. Shifting focus always has some benefit to it, but I think in her particular case, the downside is too much, and that is that she's soft and she's 75 points. So, yeah.
All right, awesome. So next up, we have Yelena Belova. She's 50 points. Spy and Widow's keywords. Ignores hindering terrain for movement, espionage, disinformation. If Yelena Belova is on a theme team or your starting force has 2 other characters from the Black Widow set, opposing characters in 6 squares in line of fire can't have the combat values positively modified, and her special movement power on her first 2 clicks is running shot and stealth. That comes with some shape change. What do you think, Mike?
Again, interesting figures coming out of this set. I think they're really taking advantage of traits already out of the gate. Like they want to have some fun with this or make a lot of variables in the figures, but really making them all about traits, which is interesting. It leaves more room on the dial for stuff, as well as it makes them those things not outwinnable. You know what I mean? So that's kind of a extra little benefit to have is putting almost like special power type things, but into trait form in this. I like her because of the fact that she's 50 points, so a little bit more economical. The shape change in willpower is nice, but again, 5 clicks and soft, nothing's mitigating that damage. Yeah. There's too many other good things out there right now for 50 points. I think it's a hard market, but she's a solid figure. And if you're playing a sealed event with these figures, definitely you'd be looking at playing this figure in sealed. I mean, she brings a lot to the table for 50 points, but not really going to make it on the competitive scene because too much other good stuff at 50 right now, I think.
All right, Tom, your thoughts?
Yeah, I don't have a lot to add. You're unlikely to see her back dial, since I assume you'll mostly get 2 shotted, if not 1 shotted. So you really hope that 18 defense is going to do some work for you. And 18 defense shape change is a nice combination. She's not an easy target, but she certainly becomes one fairly quickly. It's also something to be said for the fact that she loses her stealth at the point at which her defense goes down to 16, and combat reflexes is the only thing helping her. No movement attack power at that point, and her damage is low, although this precision strike helps offset. There's not a lot to say about her. She's basically how much you can get done on your first click, because I think after that point you really can't rely on her much. And as Mike said, in the modern world of Heroclix, I don't think her stats really justify her 50-point cost, but she's just good enough that I think she functions well within this set, and maybe as a casual player.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Also, it's one of those situations. Sometimes a 50-point character, when they lack the keywords, you have to ask yourself, will you welcome her to the Avengers or S.H.I.E.L.D.? I wouldn't. I wouldn't. All right, next up we have the Widow's Initiate. 25 points, 4 range, Spy and Widow's keyword. Trait here is Espionage the Widows. During game setup, Widow's Initiative counts as 2 characters for theme teams. Each can increase your theme team prop control use by +2 and your bonus to roll for first player by +2. Now, this is interesting because it makes you think of the Widows, but I had to go back, and while we were doing the unboxing, it always came to head like there was something that made Spy a named keyword. It was Spy Master.
Spy Master.
Yeah, man.
All of a sudden, I'm starting to think, can I come up with teams that include Spy Master, that include the Widow's Initiate, and another figure which we'll look into later. On its own, the Widow's Initiate looks pretty cool, especially if you start to go in that direction of that spy keyword thing. Or if you're looking to, bump up what might be a small Avengers team with the help of Captain America. If you're that sort of desperate, I wouldn't go in that direction necessarily. Just a thought that came off the top of my head. That said, overall, it's not the best package to get to be adding for your theme team prop control. And there's another character that can make use of this, which we'll also talk about even later. So there's two other figures. This figure on its own, not really mind-blowing. I mean, she's got close combat expert, she's got incapacitation, she's got stealth. None of those are really working for her together. But then she is working in conjunction with two other characters, three other characters if you include Spy Master, that raise her stock value, but not to an amazing degree necessarily. So if something with Spy Master kind of comes to mind, I think this will see a fair bit of play. Especially in combination with another figure we're going to talk about later. But besides that, it's just not a really super interesting generic beyond that. What do you think, Tom?
Yeah, I think that sums it up pretty well. I will say that I'm almost looking forward to retirement most for stop, so that we no longer have to preface statements with after retirement or in a post-rotation world. There's a lot.
What major tournaments are happening before rotation at this point?
That's fair. Yeah, we're basically already in that world if you
Yeah.
count Roll20. So there's not going to be so many, obviously, retaliators and just really viable points, low point figures. So if you're already building a spy team, or a Widow's team, I guess, but I mean, realistically, if you're already building a spy team, then I think that she's got some pretty good utility for you, because for only 45 points, she's great theme fluff. She's not just one theme fluff, she's two theme fluffs. And beyond that, she's stealth shield for your characters, so that's always nice to have. You're not that worried about losing your 25 points. People don't really want to get next to her, because close combat expert with a 10-2 is not a terrible starting point. And incapacitate certainly is a useful per power that people don't often see coming. But I think she's got just enough to justify her 25-point value before you start adding other things that increase their stock. I like it.
All right. Mike, anything you want to add?
I just have to say, I mean, you automatically have to consider as having potential in the meta because of the fact that the +2 to initiative and spy, and we already know that you can make spy named. There are good spy figures out there. It does make me a little sad about the retirement of Unseen, because he had spy keyword, and he, with Beetle Pod, would have been able to carry this character around as well. So that would have been a fun time for me.
Shucks.
I know you don't feel bad at all, Tom. Not at all. But so yeah, I think surprisingly, I think you're going to see this figure pop up here and there, just because someone somewhere is going to build a spy team, and why not have a figure that gives you +2? I mean, it's giving you 2 extra theme probs even. It allows you, if you're finding higher point spy figures, then you could build a little more of a tent pole team, but still manage to get a higher initiative roll. So yeah, that's pretty good for 25 points. I mean, it's a soft figure, and it is limited keywords, thankfully. That would be pretty hardcore if there were more keywords there. So, but nothing special for on the dial though, right? Clearly nothing special.
All right, next up, we have the Task Force Henchman. Assassin, Soldier, Task Force keywords, 5 range, 25 points. Jesus has leap climb, which already makes me sad. Eliminate mission objective, eliminate target is the trait. At the beginning of the game, for all characters with this trait, choose an opposing character or a team ability. When targeting that character or opposing characters that can use that team ability, Task Force Henchman modifies attack +1. Tom, what do you think of mission objective, eliminate target?
I mean,
I love that you named him the trait, because that's all he has.
That's all he's got going for him.
That's all he's got.
That's very true, unfortunately. kind of take what I said about Widow's Initiative and pasted about 70% of the way through for this guy as well. I mean, need 25 points. You're trying to build an assassin soldier team. I mean, he can still be a body blocker for you. At least lead climb helps him get around. And I guess you're not really, sneezing at RCE. But he's not that great. I mean, he's very hard to get excited about. Is all I can really say. I think that he's not useless as any low point character like this. Probably is never fully useless if you just need to round out some teams or need some body blocking or some mastermind fodder or something on one of these types of builds. But I don't think you're playing him for what he actually brings to the table himself.
All right, Mike?
Yeah, I can't disagree with that. And honestly, the fact that he has leap climb on that first click makes me hate him even more. Like if they'd have given him the sidestep on the first click, I would have been happier with him. I would have been like, he's slightly better than this other crappier leap climb version. So yeah, no way. Why am I? Don't even bother. There's no reason to play this figure. Come on.
You don't even want to pull off the rarely seen leap climb attack regardless of elevation trick because he's got RCE, which is
His RCE is going to be better anyway.
It's totally going to be better. Like, thanks for nothing.
Oh,
leap climb to the next figure.
All right, leap climb over to another Black Widow, as a matter of fact. This one has sidestep, eh? How about that?
Hey.
6 range, Avengers Initiative, team ability, 75 points, indomitable, probability control across the board, Avengers Spy keywords, shifting focus, Black Widow, espionage, misdirection, and misinformation. Leadership, traded. If Black Widow is on a theme team, your starting force has 2 characters, or your starting force has 2 other characters from this set. Opposing characters on the map more than 6 squares from her can't be placed within 6 squares of her. Then she's got special attack across the board. Deploying assets to trouble spots across the planet. Telekinesis, but only to place other friendly characters of equal or lower points. When she uses it, choose Empower or Enhancement. The placed character can use a chosen power this turn. Mike, you get the lead on the next stage in Black Widows.
See, this is the one that makes me a little more excited about the shifting focus Black Widow itself. I really like what's going on in this style, but it's way more of a support type piece. And again, it's 75 points. It doesn't really feel like you want to be spending that many points on a support piece. So, though I like this figure, and there's a lot of interesting things going on, that trait is great, not just for the leadership, but also because basically that eliminates colossal retaliating. You can't just place a figure who's going to be farther away, drop them within 6 of them. So that's nice. That's great. But again, it's just there's a disconnect with the point value. I just don't see you wanting to invest those 75 points in this figure for what she's sort of providing on the map, and even with the shifting focus, if that makes sense.
All right, Tom?
Yeah, I more or less agree. I mean, there's a lot here. I love leadership and Rob and TK with sidestep on your sort of leading from the back character, and I think she's pretty well defended with 18 ESD and Rob and like standing in hindering because you can always sidestep out of it. Well, she can also just move through it, I guess, because she's got initiative. So there's a lot to like. I wish she could place herself with telekinesis. Like, I wish it wasn't other friendly characters, because then at least she could give herself empower or enhancement in addition to everything else, and that might put her over the top. As it is, Mike said it, and I think I also said it earlier. It's a hard sell at 75. She's got such a deep toolkit, but such a shallow life. That's a hard thing to get over.
Mm-hmm. It's one of those things. It's like this is there's a lot of really cool things the shifting focus character does, but then it's attached to the Black Widow, who you're not going to see a lot of deep dial and vulnerable. Sorry, my camera lost focus there. A lot of deep dial and vulnerable or anything like that. So, all right, next up, the Widow's Recruit. 25 points, 4 range, leap, climb, poison. Super senses, some shape change, spies and widows. Then she's got espionage, get close to the target. When Widow's Recruit starts the game, For all characters with this trait, choose an opposing character or team ability. When Widow's Recruit uses poison, she deals penetrating damage to that character or opposing characters that can use that team ability. I kind of pointed out this starts the game thing because we're going to be talking about another character who can possibly bring this character. Spoiler: you can bring this character onto the map from outside of the map, which is why I kind of one point that adds to it. It's like, this is cool in the future when we talk about it. Not on its own. On its own, it's neat with a double rollout and poison and it's in this case Leap Climb works for her because she can get to where she needs to be. That's why we're saying this. I'm not saying Leap Climb is a good power. It just works for this character who will be able to, if you in the right situations, get that poison off, get some penetrating damage, and 3 damage is enough to spike its way a little through some invulnerable. So in the right kind of situation, the Widow's Recruit is super potent. But on its I don't foresee a lot of situations where I bring her on the map at 25 points. So I'm not paying the 25 points for her. I'm paying for something else that's bringing her in more likely. What do you think, Tom?
I mean, I'm maybe a little more favorably disposed than you are. Again, I feel like a broken record, but 25 points, cheap filler. If you happen to be building around one of these themes, I still don't think you're building around her. But she's my favorite of the 25-point fillers we've seen, if only because she's got that double rollout, which means that she's a great blocker. I think I'd rather have a double rollout than stealth. So she's a great little body blocker. As you said, Leap Climb is not it's maybe a bad power, but it's not fundamentally useless, and it's not bad on her because it allows her to get to where she needs to go. And penetrating poison, I mean, that certainly has its uses too. So I think that she's worth 25.
All right, Mike?
Yeah, totally. She's so far the best 25 points in the set. Like you said, it's the rare instance where Leap Climb is actually a usable power for the figure because it'll help it get into position. 2 rollouts to keep it alive to hopefully poison the next turn. And in most cases, it's probably going to be penetrating poison because you're going to pick a character or team ability that you plan to move this person next to be able to do that penetrating poison. So I think it's actually a very valuable 25 points. It's doing a lot of stuff, and the keywords limiting it definitely keep it from being very meta. I mean, if it had a broader range of keywords, why wouldn't you throw it on teams at 25 points for fill-in and a good tie-up? But yes, it will get a spike in value when you see what is coming that can utilize this for a bargain basement price.
Mm-hmm. All right, next up, we have our first instance of the Taskmaster. He's got the team player team ability, so he's a wild card, 5 range, 50 points, assassin, soldier, task force keywords. It's a what you see is what you get dial. Mission objective, honing my skills. When another character within line of fire rolls a d6, you may place a die on this card with that result. Replacing any die already here. When Taskmaster would roll a single d6, you may instead remove the d6 from his card and use that result. So if you see somebody else using blades, somebody else using super senses, shape change, impervious, leadership, you could take the die roll result and put it on Taskmaster's card and then use it for your blades, leadership, super senses, and I guess regeneration towards the
end. Yeah.
So what do you think, Tom?
I like it a lot. I think that's really cool. I like to use a wild card. I wish he had willpower. It's the one thing that's a real holdout for me because he's another 5-click dial for 50 points, which is not bad, but it's not great. That being said, I like the super senses. At least it's going to burn out an outwit. It won't be necessarily that easy to one-shot him. You need to do 5 damage. So, and depending upon what he's wildcarding to, then he may be able to increase his defensive capabilities in one way, shape, or form or another. And I really like that particular variation of dice replacement. I think it's cool to place it next to another leader if you have that ability, because then anytime you roll for leadership, you get the potential of a really useful d6, and it's easy to kind of wait around and get those going. And anyway, I just love the fact that they seem to have found almost every power, or possibly every power, that involves rolling a single d6 besides shape change. And maybe not. There may be others, but the point is, blades all throughout. super senses or regen all throughout and leadership to start. Those are all great. Add that to a little bit of late dial prod control, which is always valuable. And I think that I really like them.
All right, Mike.
Yeah, I nailed it. Tom nailed it. Like, honestly, I feel exactly the same way. I really like the figure because it's a Taskmaster and it's a very cool Taskmaster. I love that trait. But again, hard pressed to look at him in competitive with 50-point value and 5 clicks with a very soft defense number. But what a great use of die replacement, totally. And again, like you said, put him next to just somebody with leadership, just so that at the beginning of every turn, there's a chance to roll a d6 and grab a 5 or 6 and throw it on his card, right? So yeah, cool Taskmaster.
Yeah. All right, next up, Red Guardian, 50 points again. 5 range, no team abilities. Celebrity Soldier keyword. 2 sides of the coin is his trait. Red Guardian does not count against theme teams and can use willpower if your starting force includes a character named Black Widow. Special defense power on the first click, defend, and invulnerability. Mike, what do you think of Red Guardian?
I gotta say I'm very meh. Like, I think because we've already talked about 50-point figures and all the figures out there that are 50 points and what they bring. It just seems like a lot of investment in a figure that in one way is sort of telling you he wants to be the attacker with that charge, 11 attack, precision strike, 3 damage, but he's got more of a defensive sort of vibe to him with defend and vulnerability. I don't see him filling a void anywhere because he's not special. Sorry, Red Guardian.
All right.
You're a really cheap Russian version of Cap.
Tom?
Yeah, I think Mike said it. Unfortunately, there's very little to get excited about with this figure. I don't know that it's awful for 50 points. It's fairly well defended. It's got decent numbers and stuff, but what am I getting excited about is unfortunately where I'm at with it.
Yeah. A sad celebrity at its finest. All right, next up, we have Black Widow. This is another stage in the shifting focus. This is the first of the rares. Avengers Initiative, no range, 75 points. Avenger Spy keyword. Shifting focus, like we said. Espionage, uncertain allegiances. If Black Widow meets the requirements for it, and an opposing character is generated or placed on the map from a sideline within 6 squares of her, after resolutions, both you and your opponent roll a d6. If your result is higher, give that character 2 action tokens. And then a special attack power, Who Can You Trust? Smoke Cloud is free. Opposing characters occupying her Smoke Cloud markers can't use improved abilities or team abilities. So this is the second to last one in the shifting focus. This is a very specific one, though. And again, it like everybody's been saying, the Smoke Cloud is cool if you really got a team ability that's being a pain in the butt. And the espionage is great if they're, they have shifting focus characters, or they're generating
ID cards for a little while longer.
What's that?
ID characters for a little while.
ID characters for a little bit as well. But then, when IDs are gone, then her usefulness goes down. But at the same time, it's one of those characters that is part of the shifting focus whole and is evident as such. And we'll probably see the least amount of on the map play until you come across these teams. So like when you see that bystander team come across, or another character with shifting focus comes out, that's when the Black Widow really starts to see herself in play. But this is that one where, or they happen to have power cosmic characters, and you need that ability to outwit them. That will help in a very brief, because that's the thing. She comes with outwit. You can Smoke Cloud, and then they lose to power cosmic. Now you outwit them. Don't care if they have stealth because you have Avengers Initiative. So, as a part of a big whole, that kind of works for you. But unfortunately, because she lacks her own range as well, she loses a lot of what the other ones have and can't really capitalize as well as a lot of the other Black Widows that we have. So, as a whole, it's a toolbox as part of an already messed up toolbox, and it's one of those situations where it's like, she's here because I'm playing Shifting Focus Black Widow. I think is really her existence on my team and on my team sheet if I'm using this Black Widow. What do you think, Tom?
I feel like I might disagree. I think that she might be the one I most often want on the map when I'm not making attacks. Because I really like the fact that she's got the upfront 18 super senses. I think we're going to find out soon enough. I think she's the only Widow who has a really, what I would call a really good upfront defensive capability because she's combining stealth with generating her own hindering and a rollout. That's as much as you got, I think, for Black Widows. It's a bit of a mixed bag, or not a mixed bag, but I guess it's a bit of a pickup with the very first one who turns off improved targeting powers, so her stealth is more valuable than this one. But on the other hand, this one has the rollout in addition to the stealth, so 6-1 up the other. Admittedly, everything else you said is true. I don't think I'm ever really attacking with her unless she just happens to be the only one in position. And I really need the outwit to stay in effect while the attack is resolving. So if I need to outwit a defensive power and I can't shift her out, then I'll finish off the attack with her. But I like her as the one who's trying to stay alive near the front lines. And as you say, I really like the fact that you can shut off Power Cosmic and then outwit things. I mean, that's really quite potent. But anyway, other than that, I think that you're on point. You'd never play her if it wasn't for Shifting Focus. But because of the fact that she is part of the Shifting Focus suite, I think she'll suit to play if you want to stay alive.
Anything you want to add there, Mike?
I can't add anything to that. You guys covered it all.
every greasy little hole got covered on that one.
Whoa.
Yeah,
all right. Whoa. Next up, Yelena Belova. If she wants to load for me, there she is. Assassin Spy Widows keywords 6 range 75 points indomitable espionage defending the widows. If Yelena Belova is part of a themed team, your maximum number of themed team probability control uses this game is 10 instead of 5. We talked about something up there that kind of went with that. The Old Ways is her next trait, stealth and plasticity. When Yelena Belova uses theme team probability control, she isn't given an action token. And then she's got a special defense power in her first 3 clicks. Welcome to Russia. Defend and super senses. Tom, what do you think of Yelena Belova?
Oh, I like her. Hey, it's a 6th click, everybody. It's a miracle. A 6th click dial.
In this set, who knew?
Yeah. I mean, she's quite good. Traded stealth, traded plasticity, indomitable. I mean, unfortunately, she does get locked down in the hindering when she's moving through, sadly. She doesn't have improved targeting, right? Or improved movement. I didn't miss that. I'm pretty sure she does.
No, she doesn't.
Yeah, that's too bad, especially on a charge character. But I guess she can sit back and shoot as far as she can charge anyway. Farther, actually. So you might as well just do that. And Perplex is always nice. Perplex on an 18 defense looks like a 19 defense to me. Defend is valuable. Super Senses is awesome. A little bit deeper dial for the points feels more worth it. And obviously, if you happen to be playing on a team, then you get a whole bunch of cool bonuses for that. But even without it, plasticity is going to be, I think, the thing that's most easily forgotten here and very valuable to have. Makes it much harder to go around her and much harder to get away from her, especially end dial, which he really just wants to start wailing on you and doesn't want you very well. I like it.
All right, Mike?
Yeah, I kind of, again, I really agree with everything Tom's saying on her. I really like the traits and power set on her. I just feel like, again, 75 points is just, we've seen so much stuff lately that, you can play at 75 points and it's giving you more clicks or giving you a stop click or whatever. Like, you know what I mean? It's really hard to look at some of these point values right now and not be kind of like, but why wouldn't I? But still, I think, and sadly, like you said about the pre-retirement, post-retirement, sadly, I think this figure in the short term could have a lot of fun on making a very large number spy name theme team with a whole bunch of probs that relied on just calling in IDs, because she's at least 75 points in Indomitable with Perplex, so she could have been really good. I just think 75 points, it's just too overcosted for her to really shine. But definitely out of the set, wow, great stuff there. And I would love 10 theme probs.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And you know, you're not far off. I think with like 2 or 3 Widow's initiates, her and Spy Master. Ooh, you're really close.
Yeah,
You're
right?
really
Yeah.
close to that. I mean, even when it comes down to it, 6 or 7 is still better than 5. 8's better than 5, right? So
Yeah,
Hey,
that's what I'm saying.
not taking tokens for it is pretty all right too.
yeah,
That's it. Because she can be a call-in battery, and she doesn't have to worry about putting a token on herself if she uses theme prob, and then it leaves her available the next turn to call in somebody again. That's why pre-retirement spy team could be really good.
yeah. All right. Next up, we have the Widow's Spy. This one's 50 points, 4 range. Spy and Widow's keywords, ignores characters for movement, hindering for line of fire. Espionage, find the weakness and use it. If Widow's Spy is on a theme team or she meets the requirements, she can use Outwit, but only to target adjacent characters. And then hiding in plain sight, which gives her stealth. Lines of fire drawn to Widow's Spy are blocked if she's adjacent to printed hindering or printed blocking terrain. Mike, what do you think of the Widow's Spy?
Well, cool little package for 50 points. I mean, it's only 4 clicks though. Low attack value, but with the rollout and traded outwit, right? Well, yeah, provided she's on the theme team. Traded stealth, it's not bad. Just there's still so much better stuff out there for 50 points, and doesn't have willpower.
Yeah.
If she had willpower, then I definitely would consider using her because she's not affected by terrain in most situations. Breaks away automatically. Most likely is going to have outwit if you're playing it on a theme team, and she can sort of hide in plain sight with either stealth or with the trait. So if she had willpower, I would definitely be considering. But at 50 points with only 4 clicks, just outside of the meta again.
All right, Tom.
Yeah, I think she was better before the misprint knocked her 5th click off. Boy, that's a shallow dial, Widow's Spy. That's a 40-point piece for 50 points. It's maybe a 35-point piece for.
I was going to say it's a great 35-point figure.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Mike pretty much said it. She definitely does have some potential, were it not for the fact that she's so soft. But she sure is stacking a lot up. I mean, with stealth making it super hard to target her, even if you bust stealth. And then having to get next to her where you're dealing with an 18 super senses and woe upon you if you miss because she's outwitting you and she's got exploit, she's got poison, so there's a lot of good things there. But 4 clicks, hard sell.
I just find it's a really good thing that she doesn't have to be in stealth in order to get the stealth, so that I don't have to worry about not being able to walk out of hindering.
Yeah, you're right, because it's characters for movement.
Yeah.
Huh?
So, we'll move on next to the Task Force Mercenary, who's, come on. All right, here we go. 50 points, 6 range, 2 targets with 5 clicks this time. Assassin Soldier, Task Force keywords. Mission objective, shock and awe. When Task Force Mercenary damages 2 or more opposing characters with an attack, after resolutions, give each hit character an action token. And then we can use more firepower, boss. We can use more firepower, boss. If a friendly character has missed with an attack this turn, Task Force Mercenary modifies attack +1. So with the fact that his dial works with his trait, I'm a little bit more excited about this character. He does have running shot to go with his energy explosion, 6 range, 2 targets. That will give action tokens if he damages 2 or more characters. So if this is one of those situations where, like, if he works, and he does have 3 damage, which is not bad for a 50-point character with 5 clicks. It's better than that previous one, but because of the lack of willpower, because of the somewhat lacking keywords, and I don't think this is a character I want to bring into the Avengers or S.H.I.E.L.D. with Steve Rogers. He doesn't shine particularly well, but he's not a bad character in the sense of he works with what he's got, and he works fairly well with what he has. So if those assassin and soldiers keyword teams do start to kind of flesh themselves out a little bit more, I'd be more inclined to use this character. What do you think, Tom?
I think that there's a little bit of Stockholm syndrome is setting in as we go through this set. People like comparing him in this set. I think he's really good, especially being able to be played in multiples. I love the fact that they can enhance each other, and you can potentially get a +1 attack if your buddy missed. And as you say, he's really well designed between having 2 targets and having energy explosion and having quake. There's a lot of ways to damage 2+ attack opposing characters with an attack. So there's a lot to like, and I like a focus dial. I like the fact that he's a range focus, and then he's a close combat focus, and that's it. And so I kind of like a dial that knows what it wants to be. But as I say, unfortunately, in the larger scope of the meta, I don't think that this is a 50-point character you're ever going to consider. But for the set, I think that he's providing a lot of good stuff.
Mike, anything you want to add?
No, Tom's on fire tonight, buddy.
All right, you know what? I'm not going to make you follow Tom very much, so I'm going to actually let you take the lead.
Yeah, you take
on the last of the Black Widows. Last in the rare, 75 points. Avengers Initiative, no range again. Avengers and spy keywords, shifting focus, Black Widow, like we said. Bait and switch is the espionage trait if you meet the requirements and hit an opposing character that's equipped. Both you and your opponent roll a d6. If your result is higher, equip that opposing equipment to a friendly character, even if it has equipped friendly. And then a special attack power, Eskrima, Skirmish. Quake, when Black Widow uses it. After resolutions, give each hit character an action token. What do you think of the final iteration of Black Widow, Mike?
Again, it's pretty much the same every time. Cool, interesting stuff on it. Really close combat, attack a crowd type Black Widow. So it's kind of like, she comes running in the room in the seam and starts kicking everybody's ass. So that's neat. I love the trait and possibly stealing the equipment because there's no restriction on it. Like I steal the equipment and give it to any one of my friendly characters wherever they are on the map. They don't have to be adjacent. They don't have to be whatever. So that's neat. But all the same scenarios, the 75 points, the short dial, at least she's got willpower though, indomitable on this one. So
all of them have indomitable.
Did they? No. I thought one of them didn't. I was pretty the stealth one doesn't.
Yeah, the other one doesn't. I think they all other ones.
Let me check the cards just to be sure. In the meantime.
Oh, okay. Because the one on realms here, the one with stealth and outwit doesn't say it has.
Yeah, I thought it was weird, but I mean, I coded them all.
But anyway, nothing special, nothing different than what we said really about the other ones. She's a good attacker. I'd be looking at using her, of course. But that's it.
Yeah, I mean, in Jason's absence, I'll chime in. But unfortunately, I don't have a lot to say because you said it. I mean, we've been saying it all day. On its own, it doesn't justify 75 points. And it's definitely, I think, the least likely to see the map because it's poorly defended and it's very focused as a close combat character. Really quite well focused as a character who wants to get in and try to steal somebody's object, but you've got a less than 50% chance of that working even assuming you hit. Other than that, I mean, yeah, it's got Quake. It's got a lot of exploit. It's hard to get excited for it, but it is what can I say about a shifting focus character that's not likely to hit the map? I am glad that there is a piece that has the consistent ability to rip through damage reduction or has the ability to take away opposing equips and stuff like that, or just do crowd control between Quake and Flurry. I think that there's a lot of good to be said about it as a piece we need to get in that.
Yeah, so it was weird. Only one doesn't have Indomitable, and it's the stealth one. I wonder if that was an accident.
I don't know. The stealth one's good. I almost wonder whether the fact that you've got that extra defense and the free smoke cloud, maybe they felt there needed to be a balance there. I don't know.
Yeah, because they also, cause that one doesn't. Whatever. Anyway, moving on to the Widow's Assassin because I went and disappeared and I'm not. All right, so Widow's Assassin, 75 points. 6 range, assassin, martial artist, Widow's keywords. Technology and training trait. If she meets the requirements that the espionage all has on this one, you may choose a standard power that a friendly character is printed on their card until your next turn. Black Widow's Assassin can use that power you choose at the beginning of your turn. And she's traded with Shape Change and Stealth. Mike got the start. Tom, you get to start this one.
Sure. I want to just be more careful. Choose a standard power that a friendly character has printed on their card, then she can use it. So, in a selective situation, at the beginning of your turn, it's a pick a power, but it's got to be on a theme team or have other people from the set. I mean, I feel like we need to bang a gong or press a button whenever we say the words for 75 points. I want more than 5 clicks. Yeah, exactly. Put a stamp on it. This is the new Vary with Click stamp is the I want more clicks for 75 points stamp. We'll go with that.
Chris Stockhouse stamp. We miss you, Chris.
Yeah. Anyway, I mean, what else can I say? I like the fact she's got a double rollout. I like the fact that she's got stealth. There's a lot to like, but she's 75 points for 5 clicks, and she's probably going to die. At least it's hard to KO. So, if nothing else, she's robust.
Mike?
Yeah.
She can pick a power potential. She could get impervious and super senses and shape change.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's Tom covered it. It's 75 points, man, and no willpower. So. I mean, I love stealth and shape change. It's cool, and there's cool stuff going on there. But inside the set, totally cool figure. Outside of the set,
I don't know, Tom. She doesn't seem that robust. Dial. All right. Next up, we have Taskmaster.
Yeah.
All right. 7 range, team player, team abilities. Once again, wild card. 75 points. Assassin Soldier, Task Force keywords. Ignores characters for line of fire. Mission objective, I am the mission. Leadership, but only if Taskmaster's on a theme team, only if he meets the requirements. When he uses it and succeeds, he may also remove an action token from a friendly character with the Task Force keyword, including himself. Special attack power on the first 4 clicks, Black Panther's moves and his claws, Blade's claws, fangs, and flurry. Free, make a close attack, but only to target an opposing character that missed Taskmaster since your last turn. Which comes with a special defense power, hundreds of perfectly replicated fighting styles, toughness, willpower. At the beginning of your turn, choose combat reflexes or energy shield deflection or mastermind. Taskmaster can use a chosen power until your next turn. And I loved when I was reading this character at first, I loved everything about it except for the movement power on his first click. Because it's like, this would be great if I could include that special attack power with damn it. And the lack, well, he does have willpower, so I shouldn't complain about the lack of willpower. He does have it as part of his defense power, but that can be outwitted. Is it for line? Hold on a second. Yeah, it's for line of fire. Just want to make sure. I like him. I like him in a different way that I like the 50.1, where he's just cool and tough and does a ton of damage. He's got a huge range. Range combat expert is great too. And it's 6 clicks for 75 points this time. It does have a degree of willpower, which helps. But he doesn't move well through the hindering, which he's using for the stealth. He lacks that extra kind of stealthiness that the Widow's Assassin has. So I'm more likely I'm going to play this guy on more kitchen tables than anything, but I'm not bringing this guy to competitive myself. I mean, again, stylistically, love him, but I'm just not in love with him. What do you think, Mike? I'm not going to let you follow Tom this time.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things I kind of like about him, even a little bit more than the other one, is how he can sort of hide in the middle of people, because he's got improved targeting, ignores characters. So and he's got a 7 range, which is in terms of this set, that's beefy. So he and then when you look at his defense power, where it's Mastermind's one of the choices too, so he could always surround himself with a lot of those low point task force guys and use the range combat expert and shoot through them and do some not bad damage, and sort of draw somebody in or force them to come in and get base to him. And that's when, oh, surprise, I've got blades, claws, fangs, and flurry. So I kind of like the power layout. I understand what you mean about it feels rough having that no move and attack power on the first click, but I think they've sort of compensated in that whole ignoring characters, and he's behind the scenes to start, right? He's manipulating everybody else, and then he sort of jumps into the fray. So I kind of dig that about him. I like that stylistically, and it's a different way to play a Taskmaster than they've given us before. Ultimately, though, with a 17 defense, I know he does have either combat reflexes or ESD he could pick to boost that. I'm just not sure about his longevity, but 6 clicks at least for 75. So if there was ever a figure out of this set, I would contemplate maybe building out of maybe him. But I think overall this set is a little soft competitively.
All right, Tom?
Yeah, well put. It's a casual set, and as a casual set, I think that this is a pretty good 75-point antagonist, for all the reasons that you mentioned. I wish there was. I know that this is not realistic or reasonable, but this is one. Every now and again, you see a piece that you just wish had protected out with, and this is one of them. For everything that Mike said, because I think that as long as he's not getting outwitted, he really can do a great job being kind of in the middle of the crowd, protected between stealth and mastermind, surrounded by his books and shooting through them with his RCE. And if you get close to him, then he's just ripping India. And he's got leadership to kind of keep those guys doing their thing. Like, I think that he's a great leader of a team of mercenaries in that way, which is exactly what they're trying to represent. So, A+ for capturing the spirit of the character. But I also, unfortunately, just think that he loses so much if you get out with his defense special and then get a shot on him, and then suddenly 75 points don't seem to be very well spent. So finesse piece in the extreme, and probably not competitive, but I give it high marks for achieving what it probably sets out to achieve from a thematic perspective.
Yeah. All right. Next up, we have another iteration of Red Guardian. Here we go. 75 points with 5 range, indomitable, celebrity, soldier, spy keywords, fighting an entire squad, which is his first trait here, or his trait. He doesn't have more than one. Close, make a close attack targeting up to 3 characters within 5 squares of line of fire, regardless of adjacency. Instead of normal damage, he deals this printed damage to each target. And then not just a knockoff, is a special damage power on his first 4 clicks. Leadership, when Red Guardian uses it and succeeds, modify his combat values except damage +1 until your next turn. If he failed, an opponent chooses attack or defense, and he modifies that combat value +1 until your next turn. Mike, what do you think of the Red Guardian?
Well, he's a cool little figure. I mean, it's definitely better than the other one that they showed. I mean, sorry, but again, hit the gong, 75 points. Though we got 6 clicks out of this one, though, right? Yeah, and to be fair, the fact that close to do that whole basically 5 square quake kind of thing is pretty good. That it's a trait.
Super quick, yeah.
Yeah, he's got it all the whole time. So that's pretty cool. I mean, you can't deny that there's a potential there. But he's so outwittable. He's got low defense numbers, and he's 75 points. So cool Red Guardian, better than the other one. Yeah, never going to see competitive.
All right. Tom?
Yeah, yep. In this set, pretty boss. Roll leadership, get +1 to all your values except damage, and now you're moving 6 squares and then making a close attack with your 5. So that's an 11 swing for a 12 attack to deal 3 damage each to 3 characters, if you can see. I mean, that's obviously everything is working in your favor if that works out, but it's pretty nasty. I love that attack everyone Attack 3 characters within 5 squares regardless of adjacency. Well, modifier as well for required, but really good. But you're right. Defensively, he's he's made of wet tissue paper, and he's very easy to psychic blast. He's very easy to exploit weakness. He's very easy to outwit, and he's very easy to score 75 points from.
Yeah, it's one of like we've been saying, he's good in this set. He's not. We're not necessarily going to sing the praises of him in competitive play per se, but
these pieces. Yeah. These pieces are all pieces that make you kind of wish that this was like a full set so that we could play sealed of it, because this feels like a set that would be fun to play sealed.
Absolutely. I 100% agree on that one.
Yeah, totally.
All right. Last of what you can pull in the pack, but not least of all, is going to be the Chase Black Widow. Sorry, I say that with quotes because if you buy a countertop display, you're basically getting all of these figures and a few in extra.
Do we know whether might be a second Chase?
There's no what's the word I'm looking for? Mass market exclusives in this one. So it's kind of like Captain Marvel. You get the countertop, you got it all.
But the Captain Marvel, they had 2 Chases.
Oh no, never mind.
Captain Marvel had the title character Captain Marvel as well as like the Super Cosmic.
Then I might have just gotten 1 to 16, and I might be lying to everybody with a full set. And maybe there's a Chase Taskmaster. I don't know.
Really?
And all right, way to make me feel insecure, Tom.
Well, it's not your fault either way.
All right.
I just wonder.
But the Black Widow has 6 range 2 targets, Avengers Initiative team ability. She's 100 points. Avengers and Spy keywords. Ignores elevated for movement. In addition to the hindering, she's going to ignore for an Avengers Initiative. She's got 2 espionage traits. The first one is patience. If you meet the requirements that we've talked about multiple times, standard friendly characters can't have their attack rolls of 10 or more re-rolled, and opposing characters targeting those characters can't have their attack rolls of 4 or less re-rolled, which is mine and Mike's nightmare. I know that. Next, espionage and opportunity. Stealth. Black Widow starts the game with 5 tradecraft tokens. Free, remove a tradecraft token to choose an opposing character within 6 squares of line of fire. Until your next turn, that character can't use a standard power unless it's displayed on their dial as a colored square, and can't have their combat values positively modified. She got a special defense power on her last click, clearing the ledger. Stop. When this power is first revealed, remove all of Black Widow's tradecraft tokens and heal her that many clicks. And then she got a special damage power on her first 2 clicks. Web of Intrigue, Leadership and Outwit. Free, remove a tradecraft token to generate either a figure number 3, Widow's Initiate, or a figure number 6, Widow's Recruit. Widow's Recruit was the one with poison. Widow's Initiative was the one with close combat expert. And Incapacitate, that gave the extra theme probs at build. Tom, what do you think of the Chase Black Widow?
Oh, we're starting with me. Well, I like her. She's a lot of, once again, it seems that she's a lot of points for what she does, but at the very least, here we've got a stop click that will probably trigger twice per game. Admittedly, the second time it triggers, you're dead. But anyway, maybe we've got some additional source of possibility there. I do love the fact that we've seen from both the Nick Fury and the Phil Coulson how effective tradecraft type characters can be. And I love the whole hit your stop click, remove your tradecraft tokens, and deal back up the result. So she's staying in the fight. I think it's cool that you can use tradecraft tokens to create figures. As we said, you can bring out a penetrating poisoner at just the right time. That's pretty useful. You can also bring out a close combat expert piece if you really need to. I think that, generally speaking, the other one's better for 25 points, but sometimes you're going to want that big damage output or just really want to hit, and they both have value. So by all means, have them on hand. Otherwise, leadership, outwit, running shot, psychic blast, all this coupled with trade stealth, the fact that she's moving through and seeing through hindering, and she's moving over elevated. There's a lot to like here, I think. And her other tradecraft power is very specific, but certainly could be a real annoyance against characters who are taking powers off trades or powers from rings, equipment, and stuff like that, or other things. Like it's a nice way of, or just special powers. She's got a lot of manipulation, a lot of cool things. It's hard quite to justify her as a third of the team, but I think she's got enough stuff going for her that maybe you can make a good team around her. Definitely promise.
All right, Mike.
Yeah, again, can't really disagree with that. I think she's really interesting. I can't not like a 12 base attack. She's got good values. She's not too overly costed in the current age of the things we've seen lately that were bargain basement price things, but because she does at least have that stop click, and like Tom said, it'll still fire off twice. She doesn't get to heal the second time, but and I love the whole idea of, I mean, I'm already in my head playing that she's got 5 tradecraft tokens, or sorry, she's going to have 4, because I'm definitely going to use 1 to call in at least one of those recruits or initiates. It's back to the old days of just get somebody who can carry her really far, and then she calls out one of those guys, and maybe they get a good hit early in on a useful figure. So there's a lot of fun stuff there, but we come back to it's a 30-year build, and there's better stuff out there.
I'm going to say this. Amber asked me to build a team with this, and if it's bringing Amber into competitive play, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm content with anything that says Amber wants to play with a figure. So that's my thing.
Again, I would have Unseen with Beetlepod Carrier, so that'd be fun. Of course I would. That's only 173 points, man. Don't hate.
I do also like the idea of being able to move her full movement and then free action, make a character who will then choose the character she's going to be next to, or the team ability on that character, and free action poison. There's so much flexibility to this character. I really like it, and Amber really likes it, so I'm quite happy with that result.
She also looks great. I mean, we don't talk a lot about sculpts on this show, but she's a really good looking hero from space, which I love.
Yeah, absolutely. The
dynamic.
All right, next up, and last but not least, and you buy this figure. This is just a figure you buy on its own. It comes in its own little box. This is the Black Widow on a motorcycle. 75 points, 5 range, 2 targets, Avengers Initiative, team ability, Indomitable, Avengers, and Spy keyword. It is not technically a vehicle. Espionage, secret mission, hypersonic speed. This is traded. When Black Widow uses it and hits with a close attack, if she's on a theme team, or you're starting force as 2 other characters from Black Widow set, after resolutions, you may place the hit character in any square she moved through after the attack. If you do, deal them 1 penetrating damage. Just enough gas in the tank is the first trait. Free once per game, half speed, then move. When Black Widow leaves the map, generate a heavy object in one of her squares. Protected pulse wave. Time to get off the bike is her last trait. During force construction, you may include a character named Black Widow of 75 points or less on your sideline. The first time Black Widow would be KO'd, instead replace her with that Black Widow on its last non-KO click, and then roll a d6 and heal that Black Widow, half the result. This game, that Black Widow can't be healed any other way, a protected pulse wave. Mike, what do you think of the Black Widow bike?
Well, I think already she gained a bit there, being that's got that whole once per game sort of sideline bringing the figure, so she doesn't really die right away, because we already know 5 clicks at 75 points kind of sucks. But the hypersonic trait's pretty cool. If you pair her with the right kind of team, grabbing somebody and then maybe bringing them back. She's single based, right?
Double base.
Double base. So she can't be TK'd, right?
Correct.
Which is a little too bad, because then that would have been a great swing for grabbing people and bringing them back, a la that old Nightcrawler that was always fun to use.
Yeah, that's still how I would describe it. Fun.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it was fun. Bringing stuff back to a kill box.
Before we say, oh no, she doesn't have TK, or she can't be TK'd, she does have free move half her movement, which is 11, which is 6 squares.
Yeah. And she's got a sidestep in there. Yeah. So it's still pretty cool power. I think out of all the 75 Black Widows we've seen, this is the one that you would most lean towards playing, because of the fact that there's some cool traits there, a lot of flexibility of movement, precision strike with 11 attack and a 3 base is pretty good. And we said she doesn't die the first time and can bring in another figure. So not bad. Maybe Avengers keyword there too. So there's a lot to build with. So I think out of everything in the set, if you're looking at a 75-point Black Widow that you maybe want to play in competitive, you potentially could look at her.
All right.
I know that was a stretch.
Well, first of all, does anything say that after you replace, you can't shift focus or not? I can't.
That's going to be a big question. I think the win is going to have to answer, because like I see where you're coming with. It's like you bring in the other Black Widow, heal it up, and then use shifting focus to another Black Widow, and then heal that Black Widow through some other source like support or something like that. That being not the original Black Widow, but of course you can't all manage this in the same turn. It would have to be like the next turn, so it would have to survive.
I mean, but even that is going one step beyond usefulness, since of course there's just something to be said for turning into one of the shifting focus Black Widows and then being able to choose which style is best. So even if you can't heal, use the exploit to heal further, which, as written, I don't see why you wouldn't. I'm sure there is a reason, and I'm sure it's in the rule book, and I'm sure if Jay were here, he would tell us. But he is not, and we are old men, and we do not know what we are doing. Anyway, even with that wasn't the case, I still think that the bike's pretty cool. I love the fact that at any given moment, the bike can move the entire map and make an attack. It can because it can go 6 squares, plus 2 is 8, plus an 11 hypersonic is 19, plus 3 range when you're using hypersonic is 22. So that's the map if you started in row number 2. And so you can never completely rule out the possibility of the Black Widow bicycle pedaling its way across the entire map and then hitting all your guys. I think it's not a great strategic move, but I think it's fun. Add that to the death insurance and the fact that it's got good enough stats in its own right. And I like the fact that when she dies, then it creates a heavy object. Yes, that is reminiscent of it being reflective of being like a vehicle, but also like almost every Black Widow you're going to bring in will have stealth, and so you've got something for her to hide in when it pops out. So that's a little something, right? Neat. I'll let you.
Yeah, it's a neat little thing again, and like we said, a little bit exploitable in certain degrees, but it's got huge reach. Up for consideration. I'm sure Amber will convince me to use it with her Chase Black Widow. So I've already got 175 points to work with. That leaves me 125 to work with. It's one of those things. It's cool, and it definitely fits on the cool basis of Heroclix things. It does a lot of neat things that you want to see it do. There's nothing on it that makes me go, I'm not really interested in that. It's hitting all the marks that we want it to hit. So. Overall, the set is, I want to call it, again, cool. It's neat. There's a lot of neat things to it. Ideas run through my head that I want to play around with. Yes, I am making considerations with Spymaster, but every time I do, I get a little bit more sad. Because, just about, like, there's, I think, like, with the exception of the task force guys, including Taskmaster and the Red Guardians, everything else has spy keyword in the set. So, puts it up for consideration. If somebody is out there and thinking about that, wants to make a Spymaster work, there you go, guys. You got a whole set to work with now. But that said, I think the next thing we wanted to do was a little bit more fun and related to this. And that was get a chance to play with some of this. So what we're going to do is we're kind of do the wrap up for a lot of the show before we move to this next part. Because the next part of what we're going to do is Tom has built 2 different teams with figures from the Black Widow set. And we have a Roll20 window open right now. We're going to have Tom and Mike play a game on the stream.
Why not?
Why the heck not, right?
We can't leave our houses. This is the only way that we have to play, and it's like it would have been fun when we got the undead stuff. I remember going over to Jason's and we did a set review and we had a little chance to play the game, and we would have done the same thing here. But unfortunately, we can't leave our homes, so this is the closest equivalent.
Yeah. And by the way, speaking of Spy and Spymaster, I posted a +8 Spy team named theme team in the Discord. pre-retirement, of course. It consists of Yelena Belova at 75
Beetle
points,
Pod at
Unseen with the Beetle Pod, Spy Master, 2 Widows Initiates, and 1 Widows Recruit. With 4 ID cards: Cyclops, Jean Grey, Iceman, and Beast, all student. It's 300 points exactly.
I'm also going to show this in the community, the public Discord.
Yeah.
That was in the Patreon.
Troll the
Discord.
Meta Lab there. Sorry.
So
there you go. There's a Spy Master Spy named theme team with 8 theme props.
What's
that
up?
should be enough.
What's up? All right. In the meantime, we will address your questions first, and then we're going to cut off questions, and then we're going to go to the game. So with that, we go to Facebook, which had actually quite a few questions. I guess people really want to know some stuff with what's going on out there. And I lost my quick link to it. All right, cool. This is what happens. You get a little bit too into social media while you're isolated. Be careful with that, ladies and gentlemen. Be careful with that. While we're kind of loading into this,
yes,
sitting with the dead air, I apologize.
No, it's okay. I mean, gotta get our way there. In case anyone's wondering why we're not talking about all the new JLU stuff, I mean, we'd be here all night, and we don't have all night. And anyway, it's kind of fun to keep celebrating the Black Widow thing. I think that it's unsung in the middle of the release of the great big bomb of Unlimited and the forthcoming bomb of Fantastic Four. Bomb in a good way, as in the bomb.
Yeah. All right. So first one comes from Charles Gibbons. What are some of the competitive teams and figures post rotation? What team, what kind of things are going to show up and kind of shock the world, as it were? It's weird because so many things I'm looking at, like that team is. I built that team, and that's a battery team. And when I say a battery, it's like I intend to use ID cards. So I'm trying to get my brain off of that. But there's going to be a lot of use of Tri-Sentinels, a lot of use of Wendigos, a lot of use of the Hellfire Club. Like the Hellfire Club team, as it stands right now, it uses ID cards. It doesn't rely on ID cards. So,
yeah. That would be the top of my list. Would be any Jason Wingard based team. It doesn't have to be. It doesn't need to be specifically Hellfire Club. Although it certainly is great as Hellfire Club. But any team that he's on is a team that I think you're going to see a lot of. Vulture is the same way. Vulture themed teams around Shield. Vulture themed teams around Adventures, or just Vulture on themed teams. I think that it's going to be hard to fully escape the tyranny of the power of Vulture because there's so much awesome output for 50 points there. And the other thing that we should note is that Heroclix often has a bit of a self-balancing parity, whereby some of the best survivable pieces aren't the best attackers necessarily, and the best attackers aren't always the most survivable pieces. And for a long time, ID cards were kind of the spoiler in the mix for that particular relationship. But because ID cards are going away, now the pieces on the board need to be able to get the job done, which means that you're often trading them off against the defensive capabilities, which means that they are more vulnerable to a Vulture eviscerating. So that's why I think Jason Wingard teams and Vulture teams are the first things I'm looking at, and Tri-Sentinel teams, I guess, being the next on. But I think Tri-Sentinel teams are Jason teams in a lot of cases. So, boy, it seems like that's going to be a big deal. That's my thought.
Mike, your thoughts?
Man, it was like when we did that episode with PJ, and PJ just kept saying everything I wanted to say. I was like, "Get out of my head, man! Just get out of my head." Yeah, I mean, again, Tom's nailing on the head. Like those are the things we're going to see. Tri-Sentinel, we're going to see Tri-Sentinel all over the place because he's one of the few retaliators that's really good and still exploits the whole just put them wherever and just activate Colossal Retail for no reason whatsoever, because that makes sense. So we're going to see a lot of him, and Jason Wingard's already shown himself to be great. And what did they do? They decided, okay, well, let's make some more figures who make bystanders that are, really good that Jason just can make on the map, like Robot Dupe. Why not? So definitely we're going to see Jason Wingard. I think the robot keyword is going to have a resurgence. I feel both because of Machine Smith, and I think also because of Isaac, who's already out there, because of Tri-Sentinel, and because of Amazo. I like Amazo. I think there's a lot of potential there, especially if you put him on a robot themed team. And I think Mystical will continue to be really good, again, because of Tri-Sentinel. So I think we're going to see Mystical, we're going to see Robot, we're going to see S.H.I.E.L.D. like crazy, we're going to see Avengers like crazy, Steve Rogers getting used all over the place. So yeah, Hulk. Also can't forget
Immortal Hulk.
Hulk. Can't forget about Immortal Hulk. He's just a great figure, and any figure still with StopClicks is still going to be great too. So we're going to see some Thor, and we're going to see some Ultron builds that are going to happen too, because they've got multiple point lines that you can build off of. They've got StopClicks. We've already seen teams that are utilizing like double Ultrons and things like that. So all that stuff's going to be out there.
Just also want to point out in the chat, Alexander Bonner pointing out that the Black Widow set is going to have 2 chases. So,
okay.
Dollars to Donuts, it's either another Black Widow or a Taskmaster is my guess.
I mean, who knows? We haven't seen the movie. Maybe there's something funny, fancy hiding there somewhere.
We're still not going to see the movie for a while, too, unfortunately. It's been delayed. Next up, Colin Bell. What figures from Black Widow do you expect to have the biggest impact on the meta? Impact-wise,
none.
I don't think any of them are going to be like impact makers. Although, like I said, Amber wants to use the chase ones, so any tournament Amber is going to. Oh, jeez, sweat pits. Any tournament Amber is going to be in is going to have the chase. So there's that. I mean, just like in the future, anything with Doom is going to have Jason's face all over it. So. I guess we're all kind of in agreement. Not much is going to make an impact.
Yeah, the bike is the only other one.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right. Next up, Michael Federer has a pair of questions. He is the Alpha patron and the Omega patron. I also did want to point out we didn't mention the patrons. In light of everything crazy going on, I'm putting a pause on our Patreon. Nobody needs to be paying us when there's so much more important things that you need to be focusing on in the world right now. When the world gets back in order, that's when we'll turn it back on. But in the meantime, everybody kind of cool off. But if you were a patron before the troubles, we'll call it, you still have that status in my books. So you will not be billed until this whole thing blows over. All right, but Michael Fedor wants to know the trait that's on the Tri-Sentinel is paraphrased. When it's dealt penetrating damage, heal it 1 click. But what if the penetrating damage causes the KO click to appear? Does the heal click kick in? Save no. So the second thing becomes KO, nothing's gonna happen. It dies. Nothing it has is gonna work.
Yeah, once you KO'd, you're KO'd.
Yeah, once you
unless
did.
A special thing that gets you out.
And then it looks like another rule. We have like 2 rules questions. We don't have Jay for a week. I was told by a judge in a regional venue that peanut bases are now standard characters. Is this true? In the last local to me venue, the judge there didn't know about this. He took me at my word, but caught me by surprise because he's usually pretty up on the rules. Am I right? Did peanuts become standard now, or did the region?
Okay. Answering the question,
yes.
I am pretty sure that peanut bases are not standard characters.
Yeah, there's something like standard characters are considered single base. I don't have my rule book handy like I usually do.
I don't have it either, but I mean,
I feel like we would have heard about that change because
quad-based characters aren't either. I'm pretty sure it doesn't matter what size they are, and I believe that part of being standard is being single based. So I mean, I could be wrong. We could all be wrong. Jay is not here. But in his absence, then he definitely says that they're not standard characters.
But he says it very smarmy. Like, why did you ask that question?
Yeah, he gives you kind of a look like, what kind of a question is that?
It's like, Jay, answer the freaking question. I had the question, Jay.
Why? Why would it be? There you go. That's your answer.
It's like,
yeah, I feel like it came up recently, but again, memory is not what it once was.
I always understand when the question is something along the lines of, "Can I prob this?" and then I have to kind of sarcastically go, "Is it an attack? Is it a breakaway roll? Oh, then you know the answer."
The answer is yes.
All those times that I like to prop my regen these days.
Oh, the memories.
Oh man. All right. Next up, Rickyel. When is the release date for the Black Widow Gravity Feed? I think it was supposed to be April 8th, but nothing matters anymore and everything is dead. So, any release date that you thought was coming, it's kind of in the hands of the distributor in your area. I know locally, ghost town here. Nothing's coming. All the stores are shut down. Even in our province, especially, I think every non-mandatory service is shut down by law now. So,
at midnight. At midnight.
Midnight tonight, right?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because they're giving the 36 hours for everybody to prep for that.
Yeah, all non-essential services closed.
Yeah. All right. So it kind of covers all that. Wow, what a weird day of questions today. Let me just double check the Discord just to be sure. It doesn't look like there's much going on in here. March 23rd. Yeah, that's just the team that Mike put up. All right. So with that, Tom, Mike, you guys are running the show on Roll20, and I'm going to be the peanut gallery.
All right. Well, share the screen, and I'll explain what's on it.
It's there.
Okay. So we don't really have pictures for these figures yet, and anyway, it's hard enough to understand. It's hard enough to understand even with the picture. Like, what's that a picture of? So we're going to do our best here to call up the. I've got a second screen, and Mike's got his tablet, and we're going to call up the dials on there so that we can try to sound a little bit less stupid. But bear with us. This is just for fun. This is nothing but fun. This is a basic little spy team versus a task force team. I'll be playing the spies. Mike's going to be playing the task force. And what those teams consist of is on the spy team, we've got the shifting focus Black Widow. I guess I'll start with 001 on the map, but all four are represented in the upper corner here. That's our Black Widows, 001, 005, 009, 013. We've also got the 75-point Red Guardian. That would be the charge, attack multiple people, one with the spy keyword. You've got the 50-point Yelena Belova. That's the number 2 in the set that we were not overly impressed with, but anyway, she's there. And we're also doing a triplicate of Widows with the Widows Initiate, and that would be the close combat expert incapacitate one, the Widow's Recruit, who will be our poisoner with double rollouts, and a Widow's Spy, who is the 50-point better poisoner one from number 11 in the set. Over on Team Task Force, rather simpler because there aren't that many characters with the keyword. We have Taskmaster himself, the big 75-point boss. 3 of his mercenaries, those will be your running shot, energy explosion, ESD, and enhancement pieces. And we round that out with 3 of his henchmen. Those are more of the close combat focused, reclimbing toughness. I guess not that close combat focused, but they're more the get up in your face type at 25 points apiece. I've chosen a map fairly randomly. This is, I don't know what it's called now, but it's one of the rock maps. It's like the warehouse or something. I've got just a few objects for us to choose from over the corner, and this is Mike's second time playing on Roll20, so we'll piece this through together.
It's going to be painful. I mean, it's going to be great. It's going to be great.
Yeah. So I guess we can set ourselves up in our starting areas and go from there. We'll start as I say
sure. Let's
my
see.
number one my number one.
I just got to make sure.
What time limit did you guys want me to set for you? Say 40 minutes.
Sure, we'll start with that and see how we are.
I just got to double check what my guys ignore for moving. Nothing. Okay, great. That's going to be fun.
Yeah. You and me both, for the most part.
Right,
some of them are okay. Some of them not so much.
And those are doors. Okay, so let's put you there. And a little mercenary. Another little mercenary.
I think I'll go with. I got some stealth as we all do, so I'll go with 2 heavies. Sure. light. Put that down. Put that down right. Now I just got to remember what all of the characters do. And they all are.
But not heavy up. Oh, I see, because you want somewhere to hide.
You guys just about ready to go?
I'm as ready as I'm going to be. I'll leave it to Mike to make final determination there.
Oh, sorry, hold on. I'm just putting. Oh yeah, how do I copy again? If I want to make another heavy object.
You literally just click it, and I just Control C, Control V.
There we go. Okay. All right. Go for it. Should we roll? Should we roll to see who goes first?
Yeah. Let's see. I'm plus. Well, I get an extra 1, so I'm plus 7.
I am also 7, aren't I? Yes.
I think you're exactly 7. So yeah, yes. I rolled a 5. And you rolled an 8.
Oh, hot
Although
damn.
you rolled 2 d20s.
Oh, jeez. So sorry, I forgot to. I forgot to change.
It definitely says something about you that you rolled 2 d20s awesome. And still rolled only an 8.
That's 1d6, Mike.
I know. I'm hitting the button. There it is. Done. 10.
Yes. All right.
Stuff. Okay.
All yours then. Okay. A virtual handshake to you then, my friend.
Good luck, sir. All right. So what kind of craziness does Tom do? What does this thing do? I'm looking at dials. I got to switch tabs and stuff.
Just like 5 things.
All right.
I wonder if we're both heading for the elevated. There's objects everywhere.
All right. What a shock. Okay. Well, let's go. 1, 2, 3.
Remembering what all my movement stuff is here. Have you had a chance to play with this at all yet, Jason? I know you just got it, and you never spent so much time filming and unboxing and so forth. Have you actually put anything on the table, or is it?
We haven't put anything on the table yet to date, but this week we do plan on putting together a bunch of videos, because this is the best time to film stuff like this, get some games in, and just a little bit more time to edit, because I don't work out at night anymore. I work out in the morning. So
okay, and then I will give put a little blue marker on him to say that I've taken an action.
Yep.
Not an X. I don't want that X on there. No, just close that. There we go.
Dead.
Exactly. He KOs himself somehow.
Sorry, just gotta check. I think I might have actually gone too far. My apologies, because we don't have the dials right there. I have to keep switching windows.
I think you also have to choose at the beginning of your turn what Taskmaster has defensive.
Oh, yes. It was going to be Mastermind.
Yeah, I figured.
So, 1, 2, 4.
While you guys are going through this, we got a question in the chat from Tony Canavino. Wants to know, can you explain the Tri-Sentinel ruling? Am I able to activate the retaliation after moving him, even if I wasn't attacked or damaged the last turn? You're able to activate the retaliation. It just won't do anything except for destroy all the blocking around him. That's
of course destroying the blocking. But destroying the blocking, of course, is the thing that triggers
extra damage. Stuff, yeah.
So yeah, you can. The only thing you can't do is the placement part. So right. Because there's no one to place. You have to activate it from the square you occupy at that moment. But yeah, nothing's stopping you just traipsing up the map and blowing up a bunch of blocking and potentially doing a bunch of damage to some people. So pretty nasty.
Since these guys all have leap climb, I know that they can make it there. And I wanted Taskmaster to bring the light object with him.
Sure. So, you can just put it on the side and we'll know he has it.
In fact, upper corner right there.
One of my favorite tricks is to give him a little yellow tab as a reminder that he's holding a light object.
So now he's got a blue and a yellow tab. Yeah. Yellow and blue make green. That's hot stuff.
Yeah. That's how we go. All right.
That's it. Yeah, right? Because they have 4 actions. So I got leadership.
You bet.
I don't have perplex or anything. Go ahead, Tom.
All right. Well, speaking of leadership, Red Guardian not only is a leader, but he's a really good one. So I will roll a d6 for him. And I got a 6. So he's +1 to all of his combat values except damage, which is great. As for deploying the team, I'm just trying to make a quick check, and no one on the entire team has sidestep currently anyway. I mean, Black Widow could, depending on what Widow we end up as. But fair to say that I'm not going to do that. So, Black Widow is right. Good action. I reckon 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Widow is going to go occupy this square, and I'll send up the back. So she's there. I'm going to give her an action token, and I'm going to swap into the aforementioned Super Sense one. So, up on 9, that's my Super Sense Black Widow. See how long that lasts. And that's it for the Widow's motion. Next up on the moving front, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The Widow's Recruit is going to take a loop climb right to there. And then the Widow's Spy will be the next one moving. And let me just make sure I got this right. She's got 9 movements, so that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9. And it ends up in that square there. And that leaves Yelena Belova and the Widow's Initiate. Well, there is a Widow's Initiate too. Not also join the party. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You will go and occupy the square with this object in it. I'll send you back so I can see my Widow's Initiate. Give her an action token. And that'll be answered. Mike muted. Mike is muted.
Because I was muttering things to myself.
Yes, Jason's muted too.
Yeah, I'm muted
Right.
on purpose though. I want to give it so it switches between the two of you on camera.
Widow's Recruit. This one in the back here is which one?
Initiative.
That's the
Initiate.
Initiate. Okay. And then this is Black Widow number 9 right now. That's your shifting focus. You're on the stealth outwitting one, or you're
That's the one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So let's roll my leadership. Also, something I missed that I would have had to pick at the beginning of the game was for the henchman, the trait. Obviously, I would have picked. Well, actually, on your team, what have you even got? I guess I would pick Avengers Initiative.
Yeah, I mean, can you choose Spy? Or no, you can't choose the keywords. It's team abilities or character.
Yeah, team abilities or characters. So I think I'll just say Black Widow because that's who it's going to be, right? It's going to be Black Widow.
So say Avengers Initiative, so you don't specify which Black Widow.
Yes. Okay. I just wasn't sure if all of them had an Avengers Initiative, but they do. Okay, great.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. So let's roll my leadership.
And now that you mentioned it, I have to do that too, because my Widow's Recruit has to figure out who she's tearing into with penetrating poison, and I guess I can't choose the henchman because the henchman I have to choose a specific one, so I'm going to go with Taskmaster.
Okay. I am going to roll leadership first. I don't get it. I'm going to choose Mastermind. I'm going to now. What do I want to do with these guys? Mercenaries. I don't necessarily even want to move them anywhere right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Got a pretty nice running shot.
Oh yeah, it's worked out for free.
It's their range again. Their range is 6. It's not bad. Okay, so let's move this one here. 2, 3.
While Mike is figuring his way through here, just to fill the air, Jason, how are you doing?
I'm doing okay.
Yeah. Have you been playing more Roll20 recently, or do you want to?
It's been an interest. I know there's more interest in the Roll20 Club on the Patreon guys, so they want to get that going. It's just been a little bit of reorganizing everything I'm doing right now. I'm also really into Animal Crossing. I'm a big nerd, I know. So really enjoying some time. I'm not kidding. I was about 2 seconds away from going over there and grabbing it to start playing it.
What is it? Is it a video game? I assume
It's a video game. The whole series is you are a person. You are given a house and a massive debt by this raccoon, and your job is to collect things in the area in which you live, sell it to said raccoon to get your money to pay back the debt to the raccoon, who will then increase the size of your house and then make your debt bigger.
Yeah, that's right, Tom. That's right. This is the game he's talking about.
Yes,
Go ahead.
exactly.
I have completed my turn.
Alrighty. Well, just once again figuring out what my guys do. So that goes there. That's out of range for that. So pretty simple turn. I'm going to roll my leadership with Red Guardian. And another 6. Apparently I can only roll 6s. So once again, he is +1 to all of his combat values. This time, before I forget, because I'm not shifting focus. No, I'll do it afterwards. I'll put my smoke down here. I just want to remember that I have smoke that I can smoke if I got it, which I do got it. So that's good. Red Guardian is going to take a move action. He is up to a 10 movement in the current scenario. So he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then 6, 7, 8, 9. I don't much feel. I'm going to just go right in there, the middle of all the action. I'll use a green token to differentiate from my blues, which I think is value muted. That's fine. And Yelena Belova. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 is as far as she can go. She is going to still move action to there. And you can get there by going the route through the water because she can move through the water. And this time I'm going to remember that I have smoke cloud. So let me just copy 6 smokes for myself. 3, 4, 5, and 6. And I'll put a few of these down and then figure out where we're going after that. So I will go with there, and there.
And while Tom is placing the smoke there, we got another question from Alexander Bonner. I have a few ideas already, but I'm always want to hear more opinions. Is Punisher War Machine going to be a viable meta pick? I think in post rotation there's a place for him. He attacks a lot, and he'll perform fairly well. You will have to consider ways of getting some degree of colossal retaliation protection from him. But aside from that, yeah, he's not a bad option.
Yeah, I think that he makes like you say, he makes a lot of attacks. He's definitely a lot more aggressive than he's defensive, and so you'll have to be careful to make sure the rest of your team can survive the long haul. But as a bomb, he's a bomb, and it's always useful. So that's the end of my turn, and because it's not immediately clear to see, Mike, there is smoke underneath all of my figures except for the Widow's spy.
Yes.
Now, the Widow's spy is also not an object, so she's just targetable if you can figure out an angle. Otherwise, what you see is what I got, and that will be my turn. And my Guardian is +1 to his values.
All right. So let's do a little snap to center. So that works. Potentially.
Figured out the snap to center and everything. He's a real professional.
Mm-hmm.
4, 5. So that.
Figuring out how best to. I assume energy explosion is the only big attack.
Yes. All right. I'm pretty sure.
Is that the rare taskmaster you put on his team there, Tom?
Yes, it is.
Yes. So I'm going to roll some leadership again to start. So I have to keep going back to the screen with the dials and the thing and okay, yeah, he's got this. Yeah, okay. And it's when you see move actually looking for a friendly character with task for a keyword. also. So I could take 2 tokens off right now. If I actually make this roll, wouldn't that be cool?
I would like to see it.
Of course not. A 2. Hot stuff. Who doesn't love rolling crappy? So, because it would have been great. It would have been a great time to do some energy exploding. You know,
you still can.
Yeah, well, I'm not feeling it so, but I'm gonna do it anyway because we're practicing fun
Right.
stuff here.
I was going to say we're fun practicing.
Yeah.
3, 4, 5. Because I'm pretty sure there's a ladder. Oh wait, gotta take off snap to center again.
Yeah, there's a ladder right underneath the lower heavy.
Yes, that's what I thought. Yes, it's there. So I don't have any perplexes, sadly. That would have been fun. That would have been great.
Got a boatload of probs, though.
Yeah. I'll need them. So I'm gonna have one of my mercenaries push and running shot.
All right.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Mm-hmm.
Now I wanted to put him there.
Sure.
And shoot at that. I'm pretty sure that also sees, doesn't it?
For sure, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So shooting at your, what the heck's the Widow Spy. Now that's the one that sadly...
You want a second target, whatchamacallit, Red Guardian?
Yes.
Crit,
yes.
I guess?
Yeah, and also I just wanted to make sure it wasn't the one with shape change, but it does have super senses.
Yeah,
so yeah, I will.
All 3 of them do have super senses in that.
So Red Guardian should have a 19, right? Because you got +1 to all your stats, plus you got the hindering.
Yep, you'd be correct. And
then,
Widow Spy, the printed 18,
yeah.
and I don't get the hindering bonus for the others, right?
No.
Yeah, didn't think so. So the Widow's Recruit, you're just looking at a straight 17, and you're looking at an 18 for Black Widow as well as the Spy, and 19 on Red Guardian.
So I need an 8 to get the 19.
8 to get everybody.
Yeah. Okay, come on. Make up for that 2, dice.
Yeah, there we
go. Make up for that 2. Oh, missed by 1. Hot stuff.
Hey, the only one that you missed was Red Guardian. So I mean, all things considered, that's pretty good.
Oh yeah, that's right. I did hit your Spy. Thank goodness.
Well, and the Recruit and Black Widow.
Well, look at that. Well, that's hot stuff. But of course, you're going to roll some super senses, I'm sure.
I am going to roll a fair number of them. Whether or not I hit them is anyone's guess. So first of all, let's do the target of the attack, which was the Widow's Spy, and she does not successfully get her super senses. So I will deal her 2 damage after I finish resolving here. Let's roll for Black Widow, who misses, and let's roll for the Recruit, who also misses. No one has good senses. So also, what no one had, I think, is reduction. Although let me double check if you don't have some big reduction. Nope. And Spy, where are you? Nope. So we're going to go to click number 3 on the little cluster, and I believe how do you give action tokens for all the people that you hit?
It says when Taskmaster damages 2 plus opposing characters with an attack after resolutions, give each hit character an action token.
Yeah. So so not even each damage character.
No, it's every hit character.
I guess you still did this. Fair enough. There you go. So they're all in click 3. So the Widow's Recruit and less so the Widow's Spy. But the Widow's Recruit is barely hanging in there. The Widow's Spy is damaged, and Black Widow herself is wishing that she had a deeper down for 75 points. But
well, it is tempting. Wow, you make it tempting to push again. Is this other one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 could run up to here, and should have a line from here to here, correct?
Oh yeah, it's a straight line.
Is it worth it? What do you? Widow's Recruit defensively right now has a 16. It'll be a 17 because I have to shoot through the hindering.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I think I kind of have to do that. So yeah, let's do that. 1. Oops, nope. Got to take it back off of snap to center. 1, 2. Sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4 to the. Oh no, but then I would be based to what's his face. So I can't actually do that.
Yeah, that's true.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but I can't see Widow's Recruit from there. But what I could do, sorry, one last thing, just checking. Yeah, let's actually then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, he can't reach. I should have done it in the opposite order. I screwed myself up. Because my back row guy could have made it to this front one. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then the one I already had running could have gone into the square in front and followed up with an attack. But I made that mistake. I can't do anything else. So I'm not going to bother to push anybody else. I'm going to clear. And I'm going to let Tom have his turn. Go ahead, Tom.
Nothing. Alrighty. Now we are there. Let us start with the Red Guardian's leadership, as always. This time not successfully. Red Guardian. He enjoying that quite a bit.
So, Mike, while we're waiting on Tom's turn there,
Yeah.
somebody in the chat noticed you're wearing a Refused shirt and wants to know, have you ever heard Anthrax's cover of New Noise?
I have not. I do not recall ever hearing Anthrax cover. I'll go looking for it. It better be good, man. Let me tell you. I have seen Refused live a bunch of times now, and that's like seeing God's band play. Let me tell you.
I take no claim on the quality of this. It's all on Ricky L.
All right.
All right, but I'll check it out. Sure, why not?
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so I know what I'm doing with you. I do have leadership on the board still, and it's just a matter of what am I doing with my otherwise useless Widow's Recruit. Probably just flagging. If by that, of course, I mean I would die. First of all, let's clear some smoke.
No, leave the smoke there. Slow yourself down.
Oops, let's not delete my figure though. Where's smoke under her as well? Yep, it's just under so many things. Deep-seated smoke. For some reason, there's an action token on this object.
It's a very busy high fire extinguisher.
Yeah, it's got things to do. Is there anything I'm going to do with you? No. So get you out of the way and get some crowd control. One action. Oh, okay, I think I have a plan. It's not the best plan that I've ever come up with, but
I've heard that before.
well, there's only so much you can do in this set with these pieces. I'm a bad carpenter, so I always blame materials. Where'd you go? I'm going to start with Yelena Belova, who's going to take full advantage of the fact that she's got willpower to do some running shot related action. Make sure that I don't place myself in a really dumb way. Nope, that'll be fine. All right. Yelena Belova is going to running shot to this square.
Okay.
And her attack is going to be targeted towards. She is Mastermind with Taskmaster, and I don't shoot your stealth anyway. And so who's in hindering here? They're not.
Yeah.
Back there.
The one in the back has ESD, and all the henchmen are in hindering.
Okay. And that would be an 11 on your 17 ESD if I shot up there. Yeah, let's start with that. So Yelena's going to target the henchman standing, the henchman standing right in front of Taskmaster.
Okay, the front henchman. So he's got an 18 with toughness.
Great. And I'm just going to do a normal attack with an 11 on your 18, requiring a 7 and rolling a 4.
Wow.
Excellent job, Yelena Belova. I am going to shift focus first or second. I'm going to shift focus first. So 009 is going to become 005 with the action token. So that is the TKE1. And she is going to sidestep into this square.
Mm-hmm.
Matthew, oh yeah, there makes no sense there. Scroll down, release 5. Go on, release 5. What a damn shame. Okay, fine. Then in that case, she'll just go that square. And she is scrolling around here on my other screen. Sorry for the lag here, ladies and gentlemen. She's going to stay in that square for the time being, and Red Guardian is going to charge and do his close attack everybody around thing. So he's going to end up in this square, and his 3 targets of his close attack are going to be the 3 mercenaries.
Okay.
Because you can see the wall from that square. So he has not. What is it? When I fail with his leadership, is it a 5 or 6?
Oh, you asked if he failed, an opposing character chooses attack or defense.
I assume you would choose defense for me, but I guess it's up to you.
I love that it says an opposing character.
Yeah, exactly.
So
what do you think, Taskmaster?
Yeah, Taskmaster. Yeah, he'll decide.
I assume defense. I mean, there's no reason I wasn't going to attack with this chainsaw.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm so confused.
All right. I'm +1 defense. That's all you need to know.
Got it.
So I charge that square, and I'm attacking the 3 mercenaries for the close attack. So they should all
the
be
3 henchmen.
No, 3 mercenaries.
Okay, so, well, the 1 mercenary, can you see him with this blocking?
Oh, I thought I could, but you're right. Maybe
I don't believe you can.
I think I could go to 1 more and see him, because this is technically up, right? And
But this is...
Jason doesn't matter, right?
No, but this is also elevated.
Oh, yeah, so I could just take a step forward, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That makes more sense, yes.
So back, I just want to make sure that Black Widow can still see Prob, and she can. So, okay, from that square, I will do the triple against the mercenaries.
Yep.
I have a, think, an 11 attack on your 17s, needing a 6, rolling a 6. Want to start burning some theme probs? Or
I will. Hold on a moment. I'm going to have... Do I want to burn the first one? Let's have this guy here in the back row. He is going to burn one.
All right.
What am I using? So blue. Why does this guy have a token? Did you give my guy a token? Don't give this guy a token.
Who?
I don't know. All of a sudden, one of my henchmen had a token, and I don't know why.
That's weird.
So, okay. So there's a theme prob out of my 5, so I'm down to 4.
Yeah, down to 4. We'll just remember that. All right. The second attack is another successful attack.
Damn, that's a big number. All right. So let's have
Still
this
no
guy.
knockback or anything, but...
So go again.
Alrighty. Let us roll a 7, which is still an attack. So
Man, killing me here. And this guy.
oh, goodness. That is another 7.
Oh, my goodness. And this guy.
Holy! All your theme props. That's a miss.
Yeah. Actually, you do hit my mercenary up top because he's on click 2.
Well, I am going to probably Black Widow anyway.
Okay. And now you're going to crit miss.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, now you missed everybody. That's awesome.
Nice. There you go. All right. Well, at least you burned a lot of props.
I have 1 left. Yes, I have 1 left. Awesome.
I think I'm going to then take the discretion is the better part of valor approach and not push Black Widow for no reason. Let us instead go with 1, 2, 6, 7, and are you the sort of person who's going to push all the cases? Probably. let's go this way. Okay. So Windows Initiative is just going to go right there. And this is a blue check. And the rest will there.
Okay. I'm going to roll my leadership, which would be really good time to get it. Oh, that's
there it is.
So I'm going to take one off of this guy, and I can take one off of eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Let's take one off of this guy. Cool. Okay. Just got to look at Taskmaster's dial again. So 11 with range combat expert. And let's look at my friend. Where are you, Red Guardian?
17 vulnerability.
There he is. Okay, yeah,
I guess he's 18 because he gave me a token,
yes.
and I'm also a heavy object, so his range will be +1.
Okay, so you'll have a 19 against range.
Yes,
so, and 1, 2, 3, 5. I need to do 6 to go away. Kooky stuff. Okay, well, let's first have the mercenary. Okay, and all right. I'm going to start with. Where is he? Sorry, this back and forth thing. They've got 11s. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to have this task force guy running shot to here, shooting at Red Guardian.
Okay.
So he's got an 11 on your 19.
Yep.
And he's using enhancement from the other mercenary.
Mhm.
All right, so I'm going to roll 11 on 18. You need 8. Boom.
Oh.
So 4 damage. So you take 2 after.
Yep. Going for 3.
All right, so that's a token for that guy. Using green this turn. So now you're on click 3. And click 3 is
toughness, same.
1, 2,
everything
3,
else.
4. So I just need to do 4 after. So Taskmaster has got an 11 attack with range combat expert. So he's going to put. Sorry, just keep going back and forth. It's so weird to do it this way. 1, 2, 3, 4 damage after toughness. So right now I'm doing 3. But I have 2 enhancements next to me, which means it's 5. So that's enough damage. So yeah, range combat expert, everything into attack.
All right.
And shooting at Red Guardian. So that would have been an 18.
18, which misses by 1.
So I'm going to use my last theme prob.
Yep.
On this guy over here. And a hit.
And it is a boot.
So he's now done. And then let's have the initiative is the initiative. That's hard to say.
Yeah.
That's the 16 with combat. Okay.
Right.
So I'm going to have this mercenary run over to here. And shoot at the initiates. So 11 on 16, I need a 5. And a hit. And it's 4 damage with enhancement.
Wouldn't matter.
No. 3 was enough. So that's 1, 2, 3. Oh yeah, I didn't give a token to Taskmaster. One of those greens was a theme prob, but I don't see the point right now in pushing anybody else. So let's clear this henchman. And let's clear this henchman. And we'll clear the mercenary who is still up top. And go ahead, Tom.
Right. Let's see, is there any point rolling leadership? I'm going to say probably not. dead. 92 there. Range 4. Wow. Boy, the shield capability.
So, Mike, with this being your second go at roll 20, how do you feel like you're adapting to it?
Okay, I think I know what I'm going to do then. I think the first thing, because this is the Black Widow that still has the job. The Widow's Recruit right up here, the only Widow's Recruit I have. I think I'm going to shift focus with my other Black Widow here into Black Widow 009. That will be the Widow. Actually, before I do that, I'm just going to make an attack because I'm not going to take any other actions with Widow this turn. So as a result, she will just go look for the long shot here with a ranged attack targeting the mercenary dude. So he's got a 17 with ESD if I research correctly.
He's on click 2, so he's 16, I believe, with ESD.
Okay.
Yeah,
so,
16 ESD.
All right. So she's got a 10 attack for 2 damage. She does have prob and nothing else that is relevant to the purpose. And let me just see whether I remember Yelena correctly here. Opposing characters in the 6 squared modifiers can't have their combat values positively modified. So you won't get the ESD.
There you go.
I'm just taking the shot. So Black Widow is going to shoot 10 on your 16, doing a 6, and rolling a 10 with knockback, which I think I'll take.
Yeah, why wouldn't you? Because you were doing 2 damage.
That's correct.
So 1, 2, and with I have combat reflexes after I take the 2.
It counts on when you take the hit.
Isn't it what you have before the checks?
I never remember anymore.
Yeah, it's what you
because I'm pretty sure combat
when you took
reflexes
damage.
just says you don't take knockback damage.
Oh no, that's gone now. It's just that's gone.
I know it's charge is the one before.
Yes.
But combat reflexes, it's so embarrassing that I can never remember that one.
Combat reflexes.
Jason,
there's an
you're
old.
muted.
Am I? No, I'm not
Still can't
muted.
hear you.
But the old I know the old ruling was
Still
combat
hard to
reflexes
hear.
meant you took no damage.
I feel like he knows.
Are you guys? Can you guys not hear me?
Yeah, I don't know if he's talking to us because I don't hear anything.
Hello.
Curious. How
Send
about
up
this?
a smoke signal, Jason.
Yeah.
If put up a thumbs up if he doesn't take knockback now. Even worse.
That's
Can you
always.
hear me now?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
I'm
Barely.
like I'm not muted, and I think everybody can hear me on the stream. So I'm like yelling at you guys. You can't hear me.
Well,
If combat reflexes won't ignore the damage, and it counts on what you had when you got hit.
okay. So I fall and take 2 from falling then?
Correct.
Okay, then he's dead.
Cool. All right. Well, I mean, that slightly changes things since the rest of my turn was going to be spent trying to KO that guy. And that's no longer necessary. Good job, Black Widow. Definitely punching above your weight class there. And as for Widow's Spy, she still does have that. Great. Henchmen guys don't have move and attack to start with, do they?
No, they're the leap climb, remember?
That's what I thought.
Jerks.
So Widow
Don't you
Spy
remember
then
made
is
fun of him
going.
for it.
That's fair. Widow Spy is just going to take a move action to go to there. And Widow's Recruit is Widow's Recruit's gonna chill for the time being, and Yelena Belova will too. I will now switch into 009 Black Widow. Put her there. give her an action token, and some smoke. So let's get smoke down under a bunch of things. 1 piece of smoke, 2 pieces of smoke, 3 pieces of smoke, 4 pieces of 5 pieces of smoke, and 6 pieces of smoke.
They smoke every day.
To the back, and you to the back. And while we're at it, let's go with you, and you, and you, and you. And that's to the back. And I will clear you later below it. And just in case you're wondering what's going on, if the Widow's Spy, remember, can't be targeted if she's adjacent to blocking. That's why I put her there, otherwise I'm looking very vulnerable.
I feel you. Okay. Until I blow up the blocking. No, it's too many squares of blocking.
I think she'd be, I was going to say.
I'm not wasting. If there was 1 or 2, maybe, but 3, no thank you. All right. So, well, let's roll some leadership, because that always matters. I don't get it. I'm still using Mastermind, because why wouldn't I? And there really isn't anything else to do but sort of wait it out. So I'm just going to clear people because I can't target any of them. So yeah, go ahead, Tom.
Ready. Smoke clears.
All right, guys, before I blast everybody's ears out who's listening on headphones, that's time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
40
already?
minutes.
Well, you know, it took a little while because we had to finagle things.
Yeah.
Give it 10 more minutes. We're still figuring out how these figures work, and then we'll all leave, and we'll still be up to midnight.
There we go. That's fair.
Fair enough.
Tom's eager to eat me. He's like, I've just moved into position to eat Mike's team. Come on.
Boy, that would be nice, wouldn't it? But no. Okay, so is anyone taking
No, all of these guys are top click now.
All right. And my current Black Widow is a piece of Black Widow which does not have Indomitable, so I need to become a Black Widow who does. I will, in that case, switch out for Black Widow number 5 again. This is becoming a familiar story. Switch back and forth between 5 and 9 seems to be the operative. She has sidestep, which she will use to go to this square. I have enough of giving you targets range the explosion. Only that's guaranteed. And I am going to then, with that Black Widow, making sure that I get my right position. There. 2, 3, I think. Where's my snap center? I can go find that. There. That's clear. That's not. Okay. Not higher elevation. Okay. So Black Widow is going to use telekinesis and place Widow's recruit in this square. And then to the back so they can see it. And that will give her enhancement. Let's arbitrarily choose this one next to Taskmaster.
Okay, so it'll be an 18 in the hindering.
And you within 6, so you won't get the bonus for
That's right.
for that. So it's just down to back to normal 17, 11 on 17 for 4 damage. And that's
You hit.
I don't remember what this is, so I'm going to assume it's a green turn. And then the Widow's recruit. I guess that I can, there's an outside possibility of pinging people from where I am. She will attack the henchman immediately next to her, sort of quote unquote next to her, with a ranged attack of her own. She's got a 9 attack on your 16 defense, was it?
It'll be an 18 because it's a 17, and he does get the bonus, right? Because
I don't
it's
think
only.
so.
What does the onlyness thing say? Sorry, let me read.
Opposing characters within 6 squares in line of fire can't have their combat values positive.
Okay, so it
doesn't have to do with their attack.
Got it. So then it's a 17.
All right, so we need an 8. and I will roll a 7. I don't see any reason not to prob with Black Widow, and that is a hit so far. I think it's just a hit.
Yeah, because you switched to the prob Black Widow, correct?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, and you're doing 3, correct?
So I'm doing 2. I'm doing 2, so you only take 1.
Oh, okay. Well, then I go to click 2.
And I will clear the Widow's Spy, and that's it.
Okay. Well, I don't really need the leadership, I guess. All right. Yelena is hidden, but I can energy explode her. So, yeah, let's try that to start. Okay, yeah, because if I hit her for 2, she loses stealth. So, I will running shot. Just gotta check all the things again. Yeah, okay. I will running shot with this mercenary over to here and shoot and energy explode on the recruit.
Right. I do get shape change with the recruit, right?
Yep.
All right. It succeeds.
Okay, but I still get to make the attack roll, correct?
I don't think so.
Well, because it's energy explosion now.
I can't remember. Yeah, maybe you are attacking Yelena still.
I'm pretty sure that's what happens now.
That's
I don't have to actually.
Yeah, go for it.
Shoot, I think you have to make the initial target before the other ones become
I don't
targeted.
think so, though.
I'm just gonna see if I can pull up a rule book here.
Yeah, because I thought I think that's how it should work, but
of course
was pretty sure recently. No, I'm saying I think it should work that I should not be able to attack her. But I thought recently I had this happen to me where someone rolled shape change and they were like, "Oh, well, that only works for that person, but I still get to energy explode."
Because I know if you target the person in the middle, everyone adjacent will not be allowed to roll shape change because they become targets.
Yeah, they just become targets. The question is, what do you need to have a target in order for everyone else to become?
Right.
Oh man, these are the things that we should know.
Right. Do we have a quick ruling on that? Do we know where to look?
I'm pulling up a pack right now. A quick ruling is one thing. My computer is pulling a lot of the weight here.
Yeah, well, that's why I wish I had my rule book here.
It's funny, even in Google, the autocomplete for Heroclix shape is change energy explosion.
All right, here we go. Energy explosion. Make a range attack, and all other characters adjacent. Oh fuck it. Hold on. Here we go. Make a range attack, and all other characters adjacent to the original target also become targets. So you do have to make the initial targeting, which would be stopped by shape change in the first place.
Okay, so now I'm going to follow it up now with
another spectacular instance of the same thing.
Yes.
All right. Well, let's see how Widow's recruit's feeling. Still a 5.
Oh my God, you're the
Good
worst.
job, recruit.
All right, and then Taskmaster, or do I want to have one of these guys? How much do I have to do? You know what? I'm going to have one of the henchmen. He's going to use range combat expert. He's going to put it all into his attack and try.
Who's he trying for? Oh, I guess more than one stealth. So yeah. All right, shape change. Go for it. Okay. Although you keep in mind with Yelena, the RC doesn't matter.
Oh, I can't. Oh, okay. Well, then I wouldn't have got the plus to my attack, but I do have a 4 damage because of the 2 enhancements next to me.
That doesn't work with Yelena as well.
Oh yeah, stupid Elena. Elena just she's so good that way.
Isn't she awesome? Yeah.
That's really good.
It's just a 16 defense, so you have a decent chance.
Oh yeah, watch. Told you. All right. Well, Taskmaster
have a decent chance.
Taskmaster's going to do it, and Taskmaster can boost up his range because doesn't it say line of fire?
Yeah.
So Taskmaster.
But it's your turn. So
stealth's not active. Oh my God. It's so ridiculous. Oh well, Taskmaster's still gonna shoot.
Yeah.
11 on 16, is it?
Yeah, and my shape change works.
Yeah. Of course it does.
Of course it does.
So absolutely ridiculous. Well, go ahead. I mean, that's the most ridiculous thing ever. Just roll shape change a bunch of times. So go ahead.
Yeah. All right, where are we going to there? This is probably not a very smart move, but hey, we're having fun. Is this the one with sidestep? Yes, this is the Black Widow that has sidestep. So she will use sidestep to go here, and this is just keeping the game away. But anyway, it is what it is.
As if you just roll shape change a bunch of times.
Yeah, exactly. There's that too. She will shift focus into 009. Again, I feel like I'm just going back and forth doing this two all game. Lesson learned. These are the good ones. She will outwit Taskmaster's stealth. You still have Mastermind, right? Because that's what you chose, I assume. But that's the only one that Widow Spy can currently see. So, oh wait, I can use sidestep. So you know what? Let's save my outwit, and Widow Spy will just sidestep to here and attack the henchman standing next to her.
Okay.
She's got exploit if that matters. If you have toughness on that guy.
I do have toughness.
Okay, great. So it's a 9 attack on whatever your defense is.
17.
I missed that one.
And that one's time again.
All right. Well, fair enough then. You still win.
Yay.
Team Taskmaster wins.
Serves
like
you right
sure,
with all those shape changes.
I'm sure that's what happens in the movie too.
Totally.
Taskmaster wins in the final battle. Most of the people are still alive. Taskmaster's team wins, and the grand jury.
I mean,
that's
what it should. Okay.
That's why they have to delay the release. It didn't get through. Didn't get through the producers.
They needed this game to end. That's what it was. It's like, okay, we got to see how Tom and Mike play it out, and then once we know for sure how they do, that's when we're gonna check it out.
Given the fullness of time, I like Taskmaster's chances here. I think it's different there.
I wasn't feeling confident.
That Yelena really is better than she seems in this setting. No modifiers is awesome. I mean, it's got to be pretty specific to get her there, but
yeah, it was pretty hardcore. Cool. She really nuked my team just by doing that.
Yeah. Fun. But I love those henchmen. For 50 points, they're so well built to be able to do multi-damage and the header tokens. And they're tough enough.
I like the mercenaries. I think the mercenaries are great. The sad part is I was actually trying to follow up with some misses to get the +1 attacks.
Right.
But you just shape changed out everything, so.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, it's kind of a fun game.
It's fun.
It'll be a lot easier to play with pieces in front of you than pieces we've never seen before and whether it's red. But hey, I have no complaints.
Yeah.
No, it's good times.
How you
adapting
to roll 20 there, Mike? I know you're very new to it.
Sorry, what was that? It broke up for a second.
How you adapting to roll 20?
Slow, like most things I adapt to. Slow.
I don't know. You got like stab to center figured out.
Well, that's all Emily. Emily showed me that the other day. Emily's a great teacher for this kind of stuff. I like the medium. I'll be honest. It's tough because I got into Heroclix a lot because of the sculpts too. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, you got to admit not seeing the figures in front of you is tough. And I've sat looking at my collection and cried a bunch of times in my isolation recently because they're so pretty. But what a great way to still keep yourself fresh with the game, and sometimes looking at a thing differently helps you out. And we're looking at it differently. We're stripping away a lot of things and looking at more like the math of it. So that can be helpful in the long term.
All right. Well, with that said, Tom, Mike, thank you guys very much for hanging out with us and giving us all a little bit of time in this stressful time, as it were. Check out majesticccg.com. Join the Apex Insiders, $2 a month. There'll be articles out there to get your brain melding up into game of Heroclix. It's probably time to start thinking about some articles myself when it comes down to it, because man, what else am I going to do, right? Got to find things to fill that time. And one of those things you can use to fill that time, use Roll20, get some games in, that's a good way of getting some practice, because you know what? Maybe in that fourth quarter we do get to see Worlds, and you do get something to practice for, because practice will make your team better. Have a good night, guys. Stay safe, keep distant, stay inside if you have to. Have a good one.